Hi World Doll Day friends. This is Kathy Turner back to talk to you about yet another of my favorite topics, China head dolls again. Yeah, I can always talk about these forever, can't I? Well, I wanted to share with you several different versions of a very similar hairstyle to show you how different companies made the same thing in their own way, and who knows who came first, who was copying each other. So these are the four versions. These two are the same model here that I wanted to share, and I want to see if you can tell them apart. This particular hairstyle, I'm going to turn them sideways, is often called the waterfall hairstyle, though I know that Ms. Ann Coleman likes to call it the dressmaker hairstyle. I'm not quite sure where dressmaker came from. I personally prefer waterfall because if you look at them from the back, it actually kind of looks like a waterfall.
It looks like water pouring out of a spout almost.
It kind of does. And I hope that you can recognize that these are in fact all, well, these two I believe are the same model. And this one is very similar to these two, but I think it's a little different. And these two are distinctly different. So,
well, I can tell you, Kathy, looking back this way, if you put when they're lined up this way, each shoulder plate is different.
yes.
So right there, by having 6 dolls, they're all different.
Yes. So starting with this one, I think this one is the deepest pink tint. Has a very different looking face. Now I know everyone's going to ask me, well, who made it? That would be nice if I knew. I don't know. And I'd much rather say I don't know than make something up, but I just don't know.
Otto von Pringle made it.
Otto von Pringle made it. This one is pressed into the mold. It's a fairly, which indicates it's one of the, earlier heads. By earlier,
it's thick, isn't it?
It's thick. Probably no much earlier than 1860, I would say. Though some of these hairstyles could press a little later, I would say 1860. This one has a red 7 right there, which would be a painter's mark. And then it has an inscribed, I think that's also a 7, probably from the modeler. What their 7 meant, model 7, size 7, I don't know. This one has a very distinctive look.
I mean, don't you think if we could get enough of these that were exactly that mold,
You could,
and then we could take all of them off the heads or the bodies,
yes.
then we might
You might have
we might be able to get nothing.
You might be able to get nothing. You might be able to tell whether it was a size or rather than a model if you found the same design in different sizes and that number changed. But that's
and I do love her hairline, the hair around the way it's painted.
Yes.
Around that's really
very
special.
feathered all around the hairline. She has kind of a narrow pinched face, very defined eyelids. Quite a high quality doll, really.
I think so.
Now this one is same type of hairstyle, but definitely a different maker. Again, a very distinctively different face.
Yes. Same but not.
Same but not. And the hairstyles, while they're similar, they are different. If you look at the modeling, you can tell them apart.
Even the slope of the shoulders.
And this one has 2 sew holes as opposed to 3. This one has, let me see inside of it. It looks like it's also pressed into the mold. Not really any distinct markings.
But a little wider open for the finger. Or I'm assuming it's the finger, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's some kind of tool for that.
I was just noticing when I picked this one up that it's possible that this one might even be a 3-part mold because I seem to see a little line right there.
Oh, yeah, I do too.
So
I don't know that the camera's picking it up, but you can see that.
let's see if I
indentation.
You see
Yeah,
the
there
side
you
mold
can.
seam there, and then
They
across the
cleaned the
back.
back good.
Yeah, but I think that there's a line right there. So this may have been a 3-part mold, which I don't think this one is. I don't see it on that one.
But these details on the curls and things, those are separate pieces. I don't think you could get those out of, those are applied.
I don't know about that. I don't think these are
No?
applied.
You don't think so?
No, I
No.
don't think so in this case. Now, I had to, this one is a damaged head. You can see that it has issues inside there. It's had repaint, which makes it a little harder to tell if there was any marking or anything going on in there. It is very similar to this one, and I was trying to look at them very carefully from the side. I do think they're different molds. Either that or this was from a very worn mold.
Which could be.
Which it could be, but I look at you see how this one projects a lot higher?
Well, and then the greenware stage, that could have
It could
come
have.
off, and then they would have
They're
just
very
finished
similar.
it so that it.
I tried the facial
Can
modeling.
you turn them so we can see them? They're very similar. in
They're
look.
very similar. So these, I'm not 100% sure if they're actually the same model. They could be. It's you start looking at very small details. This one here does have some markings inside. And let me see if that one is.
51. Is that what it is?
It looks like it says 5/0, I think, not 51. And then there is an inscribed mark 174, I think, and it is pressed into the mold.
So it looks like now we're at 4 dolls
Well,
that are all pressed.
Yes, and I think these two are different models. These might be the same model. I think this is the same model as this one and a smaller size.
Very pretty little face.
And now what's interesting is this one has a mark here and a mark there, which is very interesting. This says H9 maybe? Can you make that out? H4, H9?
You know what, I'm seeing 79.
79?
Yeah, but also I'm looking.
I think it's an H9, could be
Okay.
wrong. And then it says 3 on the front. Now, there's only one company that I know of that was marking with a letter and a number and was marking on the front in that corner there. I'm sure there could be others. And this is very speculative. It's not hard.
A possibility.
It's a possibility. I want to show you something.
Oh, wow. Well, that's your doll there.
Maybe.
Maybe. It's a line drawing.
This is from the Swedish Rörstrand company. This is a product sheet from them in, what does that say, 1864 or 3 or something. And I tried to blow up this tiny little picture, and this is where I blew it up. And it kind of looks like it
really does.
could be one of those waterfall type hairstyles. It's not 100% positive, but it makes me speculate that this model might be. But if it is, then that means these two are contenders too, and they don't have that marking. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, they're not all. Dolls could, a buyer could say, please don't mark these. We want to say these are our exclusive. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why something is marked and not marked.
I suppose that's true, but I don't know. It's all very speculative. This is part of the process I wanted to explain to viewers is when you're trying to research these dolls and people want to know who made them, we go through this kind of parsing in great detail. Minutia. And in order to be able to find out who made them, and we may never know. Now, I wanted to show you one other take on this model. I wanted to show you this doll.
I see.
Now, it is made after this model. I'm pretty positive. It is a reproduction. It was made by Charles Delattre. He was a Danish gentleman, and he had 2 boutique stores, one in Sweden and one in Paris. And it was between about 1970 and 1985. And this is a doll that he produced, or had produced for him. One person that had some knowledge of these said she thought they were made in China. I don't know. But interestingly, he did mark his wares with his initials and the address of the shop in Paris.
Oh, how fun. Well, that's kind of neat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I think that this is, I mean, obviously it doesn't have the skilled charm of the feathering around the hairline. It's kind of bizarre looking, actually. But I think it's neat still.
Well, I think in the future that will have, it's better that he's straight up with what he's
He
doing.
was very straight up. There was no subterfuge with that gentleman. And I did find online a picture of his Paris shop.
Oh, I want to go there.
And the name of the shop is really charming. It's the Duck on Wheels, Le Canard à Rouler.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful. What a beautiful looking shop.
Yeah, not there anymore, alas.
No, but fun.
And the last thing I wanted to share with you is this broken head, which from the front looks very much like of this family of dolls. But look what she had in back.
Oh,
She had a whole nother back.
yeah.
So when you think about in the production of these dolls, when you had a model, the mold line is here, you could take the front and put a different back on it and have a whole nother doll.
Well, we'll have Carl Armstrong look at this and see if it's technically, if you're able to do that in a mold situation, or if it has to apply.
I don't think there's an undercut in here. I think you could.
You could, okay.
The only one that I saw that had the 3-part mold, and that is more of an undercut there. I'm looking at the angle. That one's almost the same, but I think they managed to do it without a 3-part mold.
So I think the thing that, Kathy, I'd like you to share with our World Doll Day celebration members is that you are the administrator of what I think is one of the most educational sites on Facebook, which is the China Forum.
Oh, thank you so much.
So tell the audience about the China Forum.
I appreciate that, Michael. Yes, I decided to start a group on Facebook, and you can find it by searching Facebook for the China Forum. And if you wish to join it, you can request to join, and we have just a couple basic requirements to join. You have to answer one question, and that's, are you a doll collector? And it doesn't matter whether you say yes or no, it's just to keep out the bots. And then you have to agree to the basic group rules, which are, just to keep everything polite. And then you will be allowed to enter. And we have a lot of members that have extraordinary collections of China dolls that are sharing them. Everything from very common dolls to very rare dolls and everything in between. We're happy to help people try to figure out whether what they have is a reproduction or authentic. We have a section that is for albums where it's all divided up with pictures of dolls according to different types. And you can go and look there to help you to research your dolls too.
And I think one thing that's it's similar to World Doll Day celebration is that everybody's very collegiate and I think helpful. And,
Yes.
And you've got a lot of seasoned collectors and you've got a
Yes.
lot of newbies, which we want to encourage them
Everyone's
to come
welcome.
into.
And the idea is to learn together. And even though I've been doing this for decades, I'm always learning new things. And sometimes what I think I knew, I find out is wrong, and that's okay too.
You're very good about saying I don't know, because
Yes.
sometimes the public just doesn't want to accept that.
I know.
Yeah. What was the maker thine? Otto von...
You came up with a wonderful
yeah,
name.
well-
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Kathy.
Thank you for joining me again. Bye-bye.
Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button.